Okay, we're standing at the point where people who come down the Camino enter through that arcade there into the main square in front of the cathedral, which is around to the left in front of the cathedral. But at this corner right here, Rua da Artabecheria, with the street light and the trash bin there. Following Steve's directions, if we look between that dome on the right and the tower on the left, and look down into here, and panning right and telephotoing in on a green cross, it was at this point, historically, that the pilgrims' clothes were ritually burned. So that is where the clothes of the pilgrims who had just arrived were ritually burned. It's said that the ritual was created to get rid of the smelly clothes that the pilgrims had worn, not having probably albergues every night like I had, and the fear of the filthy diseases of the times and that the pilgrims could carry, and their smelliness. I think that goes up towards the cathedral. It's the main drag, the restaurants there, and I came across the street into this park just because it's a park. It's my last night in Santiago. I'm just waiting until dinner time, which is at 7, that you can get into a restaurant and eat. That's interesting down there. I'm guessing that this esplanade may go all the way around this little hill and then exit down through those stairs, so we'll find out. Some park at, looking at the cathedral, and a grand view he has of the cathedral and adjoining monuments. Was off to the left that I traipsed en route to Murcia. I couldn't avoid the opportunity to take a picture of these 5 ladies seated like peas in a pod on one side of the bench, and 3, I assume their husbands, sitting on the other side. Given its location, it might be described the throne of God or something like that. But trying to stay in character for the Camino, this might be a surrealistic impression of Jesus after his being taken down from the cross. By taking that route over the hill, I may have missed the prettiest part of this park, so I'll drop back down and see it, walk through it actually. A pretty moss-covered tangle of limbs just before we enter this park here. Barely working, barely water dripping off the top, just enough to stain the rest of the white marble, not fill the bowl, but leak out the sides. The palm trees seem a somewhat surprising addition. This park not as well kept, for example, as Burgos. Burgos was just quite lovely. This is a monument to Rosalia Castro, apparently a famous poet. Whether she's particular to this area, Galicia, or Spain at large, I don't know. A large birdhouse. Can't decide if I like this clay surface as opposed to a more elegant stone surface. Even sure it's more elegant. Almost looks human in form, doesn't it? Including the sagging skin underneath that higher arm. Generally, this seems to be somewhat unkempt. In Galicia in general, there are things that somehow suggest that. There's a dynamic here. Even the most optimistic cheerleader girl on the Camino made the comment to me the other day. Quite out of character. This looks like a pretty building. It looks like it's probably grade school. The look that he has when you see him from the front, which is near deadness. An Edgar Allan Poe on some kind of tranquilizers. And we're now on the steps we looked at earlier, just about to complete our circle. Not quite dramatic if you can restrain other illusions. These make for pretty, although austere, benches. To have a musical flair, notice the little cherubs with instruments, no doubt alluding to this bandstand of the same kind of material. This is what's called here ensalada russa, or Russian salad. And what it is some meat, which is tuna fish, potato chunks, carrots, peas. I think you could use other things like scallions, probably some garlic would be good, and a little bit of mayonnaise. On the way to Porto, I spotted that building, which had some interesting architectural design to it.